everybody doing? All right, before we get started, I have to acknowledge Hersey Miller, because Hersey reminded me that as I talked to him during the luncheon, I did not mention him. He's one of the players that have gotten better. He has definitely gotten better. I'm proud of him. So I have to make sure I do that.
Let's open it up for questions for Coach.
Hey Kenny, just wondering if you could get us started by, taking us through the process for you and your staff of making of the rosters for the scrimmage, how you go about splitting up the players when you're trying to gauge, just how far along they are this season.
Just splitting up the rosters. My first thought, was having 3 of the taller players on one team. Taller meaning 1, 2, and 3s, and mixing up who plays against Sky. Sky is really skilled, really talented, and I need him to see elite length. And so I want him to practice so he's not comfortable. With that being said, though, Tyler has challenged him on the perimeter of making sure he protects the ball, but also Sky's going to face some guys that are going to be longer, taller. And with Mike James, Trey White, and Curtis Williams, that's pretty long guys that can affect him and make it hard on him. That's what we've been doing in practice. Don't know yet how we're going to do it in the scrimmage yet, but that's what I've been doing, trying to keep Sky from being too comfortable coaching through practice, and it's looking easy for me.
Kenny, I hope I wasn't at the luncheon, so I apologize if you already addressed this, but can you kind of take me through what the off season was like? It seemed like a kind of a roller coaster of emotions at times.
Are you talking about once the season was over and how we went about putting the group together?
Going from having a highly ranked recruiting class, and then, having Flowers leave at the last minute, and then having Ty kind of, will he or won't he be cleared, and, just kind of the ebb and flow of all of that.
It's college basketball, man, and it's the new age of what we're dealing with, being prepared for the unpredictable. I never thought, to be honest with you guys, that Trent would have came in and him and his family made a decision to leave us. In my position, I respect your decision. What can I do? I'm gonna fight you to not keep you here. So he made that decision. I felt in my own personal feeling was it was a mistake because he was learning. He wasn't the finished product. He was learning, and he's going to be a great player. But he needed this foundation, I felt. But they made the decision. I'm good with it. Tyler's situation, we felt good about the decision, or I would have never brought him here. So I felt like he would be okay once people heard the story, once the NCAA heard his story and all the things that he went through. So it's just the ebb and flows of college basketball and running a program, and it happens in every sport.
Can you kind of talk about Sky, and since he got here, how has he changed? I mean, his career's kind of been up and down, and the inconsistency. What's he been like, and kind of your expectations for him?
I've been close with Sky and his family since he was in the 9th or 10th grade. Recruited him while I was at Kentucky. He ended up committing while I was there. Decommitted once I left for whatever reasons. Not saying it was about me, but we kept in contact. And when he decided to leave Illinois, he's a talented guard who is a great kid coming from a great mother and father, great family. To me, it was a fit. Now, a part of it being a fit is knowing who the kid is, who the family is, and addressing the rumors, the things that people said about you. And we did that. We talked about you don't have to prove a lot of people wrong in leaving Illinois, regardless of what people know or don't know. You sacrifice to help your family to come home to be with your dad. And you know, Sky is a very, very talented, a very, very in tune person to what's going on around him. And he knows that he's coming here to prove that one, he can fight, that he can handle this environment. It's a tough environment, and to chase his dreams. He is a part of something, a vital part of something that's changing a culture. And that requires a lot of responsibility from him on his behalf. And we're here to help him with it. And I feel like he's going to knock it out the park. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be smooth. It's going to be highs and lows. But he's going to be really good.
Amazing.
You know, Joe, you kind of just touched upon it before, now that he is officially eligible to play, what excites you the most about the potential that a guard like that has?
From the day he walked in till today, he's gotten a lot better. He plays with a pace that's really fast. He's a pest defensively. He's fearless. There are times I have to remind him that he's 4'3". Because he'll go in there and try to challenge Dennis at 7'8". And I'm like, kid, you gotta know, like, you can't go challenge this guy. But I love that spirit about him, that he will challenge. He's tough, he fights. He believes he can conquer whatever's in front of him. He's confident, he's assured in himself. He's been very good to work with. And I'm happy he's here. He's gonna help this basketball team.
Where do you see Brandon's game really taking another step forward this year?
To me, Brandon is, he's sort of the X factor. You know, we need Brandon to be really, really good. And if he's really good, this team has a chance to be special. I'm not putting numbers on that, but he has a chance to help us be a very good basketball team. Because we have good guard play, we got really good wings, we got good 4s and 5s. He could be the difference maker. He's done his part as far as his body. At the end of the summer, he got down to 8% body fat, which is unbelievable. Now we need him to embrace and stay even keeled mentally and not have highs and lows. I don't care if you make mistakes, just don't show the world you made a mistake. Be a confident basketball player, be assured in what you're doing, and play in a way that people know you're a good player. He's talented, he's strong, he commands a double team. He can move his feet, he can play facing up, and he can play in the low post. So I looked yesterday or 2 days ago, he averaged 5.5, 6 rebounds a game. He got to double that. He has to double that for this team.
Yeah, a lot of the team is different from last year. They weren't here last year, but around fans, different people still talk about last year a lot. What have you done with your guys to get them to push that out of your mind and make sure it isn't an issue this year?
Push last year out of our mind?
Yeah.
I don't want us to push it out of our mind. I want them to know what it was to be in a situation where the players had no hope or didn't have the confidence to believe in themselves. I want them to know that there was things about the team that the adversity couldn't bring them together. There was things about the team that individuals couldn't get past themselves to be about something bigger than themselves. So there are lessons in that. There's lessons from my side of I walk away saying I gave them everything I had every single day. We practiced 3 hours a day. We went hard every single day from the beginning to the last day. And I can walk away knowing I loved them all, but I had to make a decision what's best for this program. And some of them aren't here because of that. Some of them, their decision was to leave. But the bigger thing for me is I want this group to show, not through words, but through actions, the eye test. I want you guys to be able to look at this team and say, wow, they play hard, they play together, they talk to each other. You can tell there's a different chemistry. There's a competitive spirit about these guys. The talent level is better. The character of the team is better. This is a totally different team. And for me personally, as the head coach here, it is the first step in many of rebuilding this program.
Kenny, speaking about that, you mentioned in the luncheon how big thing for you and this team is that you want them to pass the eye test. Obviously, there's still another month left of the preseason, but where do you think this team is right now in terms of passing the eye test?
You'll be the judge. For me, I see it, but I'm not going to comment on it. I'm not going to overhype them. I want the people that see them play for the first time, the second time throughout the season, for them to say, wow, this is totally different. They are connected. They are one. They are fighting. They are competitive. Doesn't mean they win every game. They're going to have highs and lows, but there should be a connectiveness with this group that jump off at you after what we have and what we went through last year.
Coach, for the players that came back from last year and for the new players, which one were they more motivated by to rebuild from what happened last year or because of the tradition of Louisville basketball?
Good question. I think the first thing is the guys that came back didn't know what to expect. They had been through so much dysfunction, so much pain, so much hurt. And then when you put the group together and you saw what walked through the doors, there was an uncomfortableness to it for them. They realized, wow, these dudes are in the gym working on their game without anybody telling them. These dudes are lifting weights hard without anybody telling them. These dudes are trying to come in first in every sprint drill, every conditioning drill. That's different. These dudes aren't making excuses. So the group came in, basically helped them form their own opinion about where this is headed without me having to say it. Now, the flip side of that, the group that was already here, I told the strength coach, told Devontae, our trainers, I need them to be a leg, head and shoulders ahead of the group coming in. So from the day the season was over until the day the group comes in, I need them to be the leaders and know that they have to work twice as hard as they've ever worked before, so that when this group comes in, they're like, wow, this is the standard. And what you had was a mixture of guys that came together, and you could see the two, like, seeing how good each other's work or are, which is a good thing. And then in reference to the history of this program and what they see, they are learning that from being here. Even the kids that were here last year, they never seen 40, 50, 100 former players come to a dinner, come and talk to them, come and support them. They never seen that. They never seen people come to practice the way that they did while they were here. So they are learning about the history of this program from us being here and us opening the doors to former players, the history of it, and talking about it. And I think that's one of the big things with my job is educating these kids, but also the players. Come back. This is yours. This ain't just mine. This is just the university. You helped build this program.
Kenny, as media, as fans, there's targets that people might place on what success might look like this year, the tournament, 21, whatever the case may be. From your perspective, obviously you don't want to put a number or anything on it, but if you could fast forward to top, what does success this year look like to you?
Number one is the eye test. Number two is desperateness defensively, and what that really truly means. You're not winning games if you're not defending. Number three, a connectedness, a chemistry on offense where the ball is moving, where we're a good passing team. Understanding of offense, understanding of spacing within the offense. We have a collective group of guys that there's not a big jump from one to the other. They all are pretty good college players. So the competition is going to be to get on the floor. It's going to be different. Not one person can handicap the team. Not one person can say, if I don't play, we're losing. No. We can win with different styles, different guys on the court. And if a guy decides to not play hard, not bring it, another guy will come in and take over for him. To me, that's more important. Again, I hate to say it like this. I keep talking about it. The process. The process of bringing the right guys into this program so that you don't have to talk about wins and losses. The process will take care of the wins and losses. The character, the talent of the players, the tradition of this program was built on tough guys. I use the words gladiators, but there's another piece to it. There was a character to those guys. I want to bring that back.
Kenny, I got a chance to listen to Nolan speak yesterday. He kind of was just talking about his decision to go through the process of, doing an interview. I tried to become a head coach in the G League. He said that it was something that he wanted to go through the process because he just never been through, because he wants to be a head coach someday, but that he didn't see himself, I'm leaving here just yet. He said that you knew about it. Just wondering, when he did tell you, I guess, could I get, just how you felt about that, and, just hearing from him that he was maybe interested in that job opportunity?
So, to be honest with you, hate bringing this up about Nolan and the G League job. The general manager of the team called me. Kenny, I want to talk to Nolan Smith. You got my blessings. You can talk to Nolan Smith. I talked to Nolan first. Nolan, do you want this opportunity? KP, I think it'll be good for me to interview. I'm not really interested in leaving Nolan. I was done. That's it for me. Some kind of way it got out. It created a buzz. Again, has nothing to do with me. Nolan and I had our conversation. At that point, I was done with it. I trusted Nolan for his words, and I believe Nolan does want to be here. But some kind of way, when it got out, it created this, whatever it created. And listen, at the end of the day, our jobs as head coaches is to promote our guys, and that's what it is. If he finds an opportunity that he likes, take it, but he has to know what he wants to do.
Jody and then Kendrick from last year.
Kenny, last year, obviously your first year of calling the shots. What did you learn about yourself through the process, and will you do anything different this year?
Great question. Probably, I'm glad you asked that question, because there are things that I know now that I didn't know before. Number one thing is, you hear a bunch of successful people talk about leadership, and they always talk from the top. Sometimes building a program, you're at the bottom. How would a successful person handle, whether it's a business, and the business is broken? People don't know the business is broken, but it's broken. How would that person lead the employees? How would they lead? When we hear about leadership, we always hear about it from the top looking down. We never hear about it when you're building. And so there's the number one lesson I took from that is, I needed it. everything I've ever been associated with has probably been somewhat successful. That was the first time I ever embarked on something that was broken. Broken. Not basketball, the system, the mentality. It was broken. Broken. There were young people that didn't have hope. When they don't have hope, your job is not to talk about X's and O's. They can't comprehend X's and O's. The job is to feel good about what you're doing, to understand, to teach, to mentor, to love, to push, to inspire. Not to say, okay, we're running this play, and this play is going to make you feel good about you. I go back to this, and I've talked about it in the past. When you go in front of a team and you hear them rumblings about there's a black cloud over the program, there's something flawed when that happens. So now you have to put everything that you know about basketball to the side and deal with how they're digesting the mentalities, how you change the mentality of that person or those people. Vital for me to learn that. Vital for me to learn that at that stage. Basically, where you're trying to win games, you're trying to get them to feel good, but it seems like every time you take a step forward, something knocks you back. I'll give you an example. We worked months on end on ball screen, trapping or switching the ball screen. A guy switches. The big guards the guard, the big has his hands down, he shoots a three, you lose by one. How many hours did we spend on that play? How many hours? Fans may not know it, but we worked on it over and over again. Or you talk about from the point guard spot, you say, I need you to play to get 10 assists. You'll score your baskets. We can't lead the nation in turnovers. That means it's not the other team that's beating you, you're beating yourself. We talked about it over and over and over again. So that's the first lesson I take. The second lesson I'm in the process of now, 15 or 16 games was lost by single digits. I'm going through and watching every one of those 16 games. And I want to see, some of it I've already seen. Some of it is unfair to the players to be in those situations because of, example, experience. I had a team that had zero experience playing teams, regardless of the level, they had a lot of experience. So some of it's that. Some of it is having a feel for the first time of, okay, we ran this play, it worked, we ran a play, counter to it, it worked. Maybe we should have done something different. So I'm going through and weeding through those games that were close games and evaluating me. And so we'll see how that comes out and we'll make adjustments as we see fit. But at the end of the day, regardless of X's and O's, which we all study X's and O's, getting young people to feel good about themselves, getting them to fight for something bigger than themselves, that's the key to winning. That's the key to changing a culture. And that's what we're trying to do.
Kenny, after the struggles of last season, do you feel added pressure coming into year two?
Added pressure? No. The pressure is the pressure. My pressure, to be honest with you, Kendrick, is to make sure I give these kids what they need to succeed. I do that. I stay within the process. I don't get distracted with anything else. That's it. I mean, I hate to say it like that. I know people want me to act and respond to things, but I'm not. I'm going to stay in what's right for these young men. I'm going to stay in how do I put this together for them so that they feel good about what we're doing and we win. That's it. It's not about me. On my first day here at a press conference, I said, I need you. I wasn't just talking about some people, all Louisville fans, I need you. Well, some people, when the rain came, they left me out there, and I'm good with that. So I've learned that too. And I'm a Louisville Cardinal. I played here, I sweat here, A to Z. I understand what it is. There's no added pressure more than what I have to do right by this university, to do right by these young people, to do right by these former players, to do right by this community. That's the pressure.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Got it?
Thank you.